Hello and welcome to the show. It's Kelly here with you. It's Upstarts once again, so that means it's Friday. And I am delighted to be here with Thomas Bean and Aidan Maher from Natosoft, who are two young entrepreneurs. Guys, you're really impressive. You're young age, you are studying full-time, you've got your own business, and you're going to tell us what it's in now. I'm going to give it in a nutshell. You do client management, you specialise in client management services for people who operate in the digital world. So I'll let Thomas, just before I go any further, explain just what that is.
So basically, what we do is, like, for example, if Aidan was an independent developer and he's got, say, 5 clients, maybe the first 2 are really easy to handle. You can balance that load. Whereas 5 clients and maybe he only has one cheap kind of server, he's starting to struggle because the clients are giving out saying the servers are going off and they're not getting emails and stuff like that. Yeah. And then another thing is he's trying to chase clients. So what we'd do is we'd step in there and we'd say, use our system. They have a simple one login system where they can upload any websites, new mobile apps. And their client get a login as well, so they can pretty much kind of log in, then see all their stuff. They get like a project management. Okay, so they get all their kind of tracking and everything on that.
This is the business that you two started together.
Yeah.
And it's called Natosoft. Yeah. So let's just say you're representing Natosoft right now, and Aidan, you're an independent developer. You're Aidansoft. I don't know where I came up with that. And so you started out as okay, I can do websites. I'm actually really good at this. I'm good at the creative stuff. I've got a bit of the tech knowledge, and I'm making stuff. My clients are very happy with me. Now I've done first client very happy. She tells somebody. Then the second client comes in, he's happy, he tells somebody. Next minute, you've got a few clients. So the demands on you have gone from creating something that the customer wants to, chasing payments, managing payments. Then there might be some, as Thomas said, emails go down, something happens. Now, how are you supposed to do all of that while maintaining your first job and do business development? Yeah. So what you guys have done is come up with a solution, because this is now a big issue for people. Even 5-10 years ago, this wasn't the same situation, but people are, because the empowerment of digital, more people are in Aidansoft situation. Right? Yeah, so you guys, did you start out with this solution, or did you start out in a different way and change this business model?
We started out just by ourselves, literally.
Or the problem where you were given too many clients, or you got too many clients, and suddenly you had these issues. So we created the solution and realised we can now
specialise in the solution.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you don't have to be even in competition with the people who are the independent, because you found a niche basically, and it's a big one. It's a big niche, and it's remarkable because you're both so young. And it's not like, you've already had a business, and you're already evolving, and while you're still studying as well. Yeah. So that you've got a lot going on, and I also know that you're quite in demand because you are very, very good at what you do. Yeah. It's not just 2 kids having to go. You're like tall grown men, as we mentioned earlier, and you're very, very capable. I mean, I know when I came across you, first of all, I didn't know how old you were. I actually only found out on Facebook how old you were. I was shocked because I was talking to these guys, and they were professional, and it was like I could have been any company, could have been of any age, anywhere in the world. You are as good as that, and that's why I thought these guys have got to come on the show and share a bit of share a bit of the magic with people. So were you, I talked to you kind of one at a time for a second, and feel free to interrupt each other, by the way, but Thomas, were you always entrepreneurial? Were you entrepreneurial as a kid?
I've always been entrepreneurial. Like, I started working kind of very young. I started just doing like a little bit of kind of work in a mechanic shop, and I was noticing things that where they could make more money, suggesting stuff. And then I kind of went on by myself. I started off actually selling computers, and they were like really cheap computers. Like, this is where I came up to the name Natosoft, because people were asking for like these cheap computers, but they didn't even have Windows on them. So I had to install like a custom version of Linux. Okay. Because I couldn't get Windows and like sell it legally, really. Okay. So pretty much was selling all these kind of computers. Then I kind of went away from that because I realised there wasn't much of a profit margin because there was so many competition out there. No one's really coming to you specifically for a computer.
And how old would you have been at this point?
I was about 14. I was in 4th year.
Okay, so you're 14 in 4th year?
Or 15 maybe. 14, 15, yeah.
I know you guys are advanced. I know you're tall. They probably didn't notice. You probably look the same age as everybody else. So you were a kid, you're a teenager, you wanted to work, you had the drive to work even as a young teenager. And so you were like, some people, like, they're playing out in the street, they're playing video games, they just want to watch TV. That's fine, that's everyone, each to their own. But you had that drive, that motivation to work. So you started in the mechanic area, and then that kind of cut your teeth working.
Yeah.
And then you went into technology, but you were spotting opportunities and problem solving. And
as
then
I went along,
as you were going along, so you're developing all these skills, and no one has kind of said to you, I'm going to take you under my wing and show you all this. You're figuring this out on your own.
Yeah.
And then you calculate, oh, hang on, money, hang on, profit margin isn't so good here.
Yeah.
I can do something different to this.
Yeah.
So would you say you were born with those skills?
I'd like to say so, yeah. Yeah, I'd say I was born with them kind of skills because I kind of just kind of picked it up very quickly.
Comes naturally. So
Yeah.
I'd say you would be, yeah.
Yeah.
And would you both consider yourselves entrepreneurial?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
would you say yourself, Aiden, as well? You're natural
Yeah.
born?
Yeah, I
just
think
there?
so, because like ever since first year in secondary school, I said to myself, like, I won't be satisfied by, like, say, getting an ordinary job 9 to 5. I want to be able to work under myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of that. But like, I always knew that, like, if I finish school, go to college, get a degree, and work for someone, that would be like worst case scenario. So if the
Right.
business side of things don't ever work, whatever I try to do, I'll have that as a backup. But the aim, like, I'm shooting for running my own business, doing my own thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's always been,
So your MVP was work for somebody else.
yeah.
Yeah, which fair enough. You were always going to work.
Yeah,
You know,
I felt like it was a more realistic one because obviously it's very tough to succeed in business, you know.
Mm.
So I felt like it's more realistic to work for someone else, but the aim is to not.
I'm trying to like, keep back from saying jokes. Well, you guys are head and shoulders above the rest of it. So you were both. What about yourself? Did you start working early in life, or?
Well, I was working, like, I just worked in a little bakery when I was 16. I worked there for a few months, and then after that, I seen people were smashing their phones in school basically,
Right.
and I was that guy in my secondary school who would order in the parts
And fix
for
the phones for
screens.
people.
So I seen, and even actually before that, it was much less professional, where I literally realized people wanted candy and soft drinks in school because our vending machines were all strictly healthy.
Okay.
So my locker was a corner shop, and that was the original business I've ever done. But straight after that, it switched to phone repairs, which was much more credible business.
So it's a similar thing. You were able to spot a gap in the market. You're able to assess demand. And listen to trends and listen to what people were saying. So if you look at the kind of, there's similarities, but there's comparisons between your journeys as well. Because Thomas, yours was very kind of the technical, looking at the mechanics and working out the figures. Now, I don't know if this is how it reflects how it actually works, but you seem to be, you're able to listen to the people. I'm sure there's crossover as well. I'm sure you both have each. But from your story that you're just telling me there, you're listening to what's going on. You're seeing the pain, the entrepreneurial pain, as they call it. You figured out, how can I solve this? You had the fucking foresight. I'll go and I'll stock up. I have my distribution point. It's going to be my locker. You know?
Oh, it was full as well.
And then you realise, okay, there's a new trend coming. People are smashing phones.
Yeah.
You know? Yes, young people, and getting tantrums and throwing things, and technology takes the. And you wanted to solve the technology problem, and again repeated seeing the pain point, bringing in the stock, but you were specialising. So which did the locker shop or the phone shop business make more money? Do you know?
Oh, of course the phones, but that the issue where it wasn't popular because I didn't have the capital beforehand, because I was only like 17, let's say, and I didn't have the money there to order a bunch.
I was only 17. I didn't have the capital back then. And here we are, 21.
So someone would say, I need my phone repaired, and then as soon as I got like a 80% answer that I definitely want to get my phone repaired off you, then I'd order it. It would come in a week or two straight out of Hong Kong, and I'd have the tools there and do it for them, like usually in front of them or in one of the classes where I wasn't paying attention, let's say.
Oh, yeah, but you were developing life skills.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
The same,
But
so you were multitasking.
Yeah.
And you were so you actually, it's a similar. If you look, we both had initiative. You both took action. You assessed your situations. You both kind of said, we could specialize in technology, specialize in something that makes more money.
Yeah.
And you both had that journey, and then you went into you chose the same course. Is that where are you studying?
NCI.
NCI.
I did the higher honours degree in computing.
NCI. And you didn't know each other before then?
No,
not really. No.
So you had similar.
Because we met. It would have been in one of the modules. We'd have a group project, and we were in it together, and we realised we both had a passion for what we're now doing, like the websites and all this sort of stuff, and the applications behind that, and we both excelled in that class and realised this is something we could actually turn around and do now.
Yeah.
So that's where that was born.
And then what did you kind of like say to each other, look, we work really well together? Because you ran a project, you were in a group project together, were you?
Yeah.
And what did you have to do for that?
I think it was actually to make a web application.
I think it was pretty simple enough, and we just took it and went with it. I think I forget exactly what we
delegated
did.
very well, so it kind of made it made doing the whole project, because it had to be like a business plan and everything as well, so it made like doing the whole thing like really easily. Just was real smooth sailing.
And was it just the two of you in the group, or was there
was other? I think there was like
that 5.
Do you remember anyone else that was in the group?
No, they were long forgotten.
They were in the pub
when the movie gets made. This will be the turning point.
They're probably having a pint. Go, this is great. The two lads are doing all the work. We're going to get straight A's here.
They were happy with the grades. So,
So what was the app? Do you remember what you made?
What even was it? It was like horrific, I think.
It wasn't exactly this. Yeah, if you compare it to what we have now and what it was then, they're two different things completely.
It's very horrifically bad. But like,
we knew then when we were making that, this is something we can like turn into something.
Because it was highlighting a lot of problems that like everyone was having.
Right.
It wasn't just like one person in the group or anything like that. Everyone was having kind of similar problems with the similar issues.
That project was just basically, we were a web design website.
Yeah.
Company. That's what that project was. But then we turned around, we said, we take this
and make it real.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you were running a prototype pretty much, and the feedback, again, listening to what they're and looking at the data that you were being given back. So actually this is solving real problems, but we'll need to maybe augment it, change it, build on it. And then did you start that in your own time?
Yeah, exactly.
We basically just started it after college, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mid-college, after college kind of stuff. But that was about a year ago now. Since then, we've won like the Entrepreneurship Award with Bank of Ireland and everything. And then for like basically the past 8-9 months, we've been just kind of developing.
I thought you just dropped that in. We won an award.
That should have been like, we should have been like dying to say that, and we just suddenly crossed our mind.
The award-winning Natosoft I have on the show, but no need to mention this.
Our bad.
We're still waiting on an icon to put on our website.
Oh yeah, the logo. Yeah.
Right, Bank of Ireland, you're listening. I know you are. Get on that, please. We expect a phone call after the show.
Should we mention the Nobel Prize now or later? No.
Maybe wait till the second half. So how did you win the award? How did that come about?
Well, it was kind of like the college kind of said it to us, wasn't it?
The college, the
SU.
They were trying to push it very heavily. The School of Computing and School of Business were running a competition. Was it only NCI? Was it?
It was NCI, but like 2 other colleges.
I think there was
not many people from the other colleges.
It was mostly NCI.
No, we were inundated with applications.
I remember we were very worried that the business school would have like lots of heavy competition. So we came in from the School of Computing thinking, our business side of things might not be up to scratch, but we were very pleasantly surprised to find out we were the NICEL winners that one.
Yeah,
that is fantastic. Was it a particular category that you won, or
entrepreneurship? And then there was another category for what was the other category?
It was Innovation and Entrepreneurial Award. So I think there was 2 winners. So it was
they won Innovation because it was like
it was a new
a new kind of idea. Yeah. Whereas our idea was kind of a super adaptation of a previous idea. So we won the entrepreneurship end of it.
Yeah.
So we had NICEL pictures with a giant check of me, Thomas, and both of our mammies. That was quite a sweet moment.
That's proud.
Yeah, we're showing our age now, definitely. No, actually, in fairness, I'll be 40, and if I win a prize, I'll be in the picture with my mammy. So that's
it's
I'm
just
saying
love.
that.
It's just love, you know. And they must be very proud of you.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Even if my mother doesn't completely understand everything I do, because she may or may not know how to use a smartphone.
Well, I'm in the same boat.
What are your mum's names? Will say hello?
Joan's my mother.
Hi, Joan. And Susan. Hi, Susan. Fair play to you, Sue. 2 grand strapping sons here.
Giving you a stick on the radio.
Moving up in the world.
So how did you choose the course that you met on?
Well, I started out on the computing course. From 4th year, from selling computers and doing kind of software, I was meddling with. I think you might know, maybe some developers listening might know VB.net. Super easy programming language. I kind of just went in on that, started making calculators, stupid little things.
Okay.
But it kind of built up the skills that I needed to learn programming properly on like a production level. And then I kind of went away with it. The minute I kind of went into 1st year, I kind of started kind of going with this whole idea.
So you were able to hit the ground running because you had already developed this massive skill set, which was even reflected in your award that you won, because you were afraid that maybe you hadn't developed the entrepreneurial side as much because you've been focusing. But in fact, if you look at and you listen to what the two of you achieved, you really do listen to the heartbeat of what's happening and find solutions. You've both got that talent to find the solution.
That's like the core of our business, just finding solutions for our field, really, and just providing them so everyone can access them while still, us making a profit and everything else, and we can keep kind of going
happy.
Yeah. And so the two of you are the core of the business. Yeah. And you work with, as you were saying, collaborators and associates.
Yeah.
So it's a lean business model that you're utilising, because it's not like you've said, right, we need to go and hire a premises and hire all this stuff, and we better get a huge loan. You're actually going, right, okay, we've got the skills, this is how we we'll start from our locker.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll order the parts from Hong Kong. So what's the need? How do I manage this? And then you're like not then having to charge all these premiums because you've got an office rate to pay, you've got office rent, you've got
that's it, exactly.
We're
very conscious of that, like the whole
that's the main reason why we haven't kind of went with that. It's because our whole niche is the whole pricing end of it. Because we believe that, especially nowadays and within the next 5 years, web development and stuff like that will be pretty much accessible to like 80% of people that are coming out of secondary school. Like, they'll be able to make a website, but it's keeping the standards and keeping the professional end of it. Yeah. So that's where we want to make sure that someone coming out of secondary school
who wants to do a bit of freelancing work
can just say, okay, I'm going to sign up for Natosoft and I can go ahead with my freelancing.
You see, I don't know if I just don't know how much you know and what you don't know. So you know more than you think you know, I think, right? Because there's these massive trends, different generations, and if you do any kind of studies of what the future generations are coming up, and they're like, there's different. They're going to be digital natives like yourselves. It's going to be fluent, like you're identifying. So what you're thinking is, well, these people coming up behind us, they're going to be competitors. There's going to be so much we won't be able to stay in the market if we just want to be developers. So you're thinking, well, you've thought already and you've come up with a solution. How do I turn a competitor into a client?
Yeah.
And that's essentially, so these people, you're like, come on guys, scale up, we can develop all this skill, because then when you get to a point where you need us, we're the ones there.
Exactly.
And I actually don't know anyone else who's doing what you're doing at the moment. Do you have many competitors out there?
We've done the market research, there's pretty much none other than freelancer, and everyone thinks that's horrible, so.
Yeah.
But I think anyway, and I think Aidan's in the same boat, that I think all web developers and kind of graphic designers and all that kind of niche for the digital age should be working together, because we're all kind of only one section of what the client needs. So the client might need a graphic designer, the client might need a web developer, and they might need a mobile developer. So all those kind of people, one person will find it really hard to do all that.
All of those, yeah.
So our whole system will eventually be, you can go on, put your client up, and then people can pretty much delegate their work easier and manage it and still get a good profit out of it and make decent money even while they're in college and stuff.
Simplifying it for everyone, like.
Yeah, really making it super easy.
It's like,
So like, let's go back to Aidensoft, right? So Aidensoft comes along and he gets, he's doing well, and he gets, or she gets, could be Aidanasoft, you never know. And they get, a client comes in, it could be a bigger company, say, or a startup that has, a budget, and they want, okay, I need a logo done, I need maybe a website, I'm going to need emails set up, I'm going to need ABCD, all these different components, and the person might have the skill set, specialize in one area, they can maybe supervise in other areas, but they could come along to you. There could be different people working on the same project, but it's all managed. It's the way it's managed. That's the USP you guys have.
We kind of manage the whole thing and make it so, like, pretty much we've kind of done the testing, and we can get a client from just planning to a finished uploaded developed website within 5 days. I think was the quickest we got it, and that was for logo, web design. That was from scratch, the whole digital interface, and then the SEO was all over the whole next month. But the reason they stick with us is for the after sales part.
Yeah,
a lot of clients say, "Oh, I could go here for cheaper," but when you look at it, the after sales is what sells, because it's like, for example, they don't know the technical end of it, so after sales is like a huge chunk.
Yeah. And it's like when you connect with you guys, it's like you're part of like a club or something. You feel like you're part of something rather than you're working in isolation, which is a big issue for any entrepreneur. A lot of people find the isolation is the toughest bit, but to know that there's something there, that there's a support network there.
It's very overwhelming when you're on your own.
Yeah.
And another thing was as well, I know myself when I was starting out doing web development, the second client I got was a big client that I pretty much had to turn down because 80% of the work I didn't have the skill set to do. I could only make the website.
Yeah.
They wanted video designs, photo designs. I had to refer them to someone else for the rest of that.
Yeah.
So I lost literally the profit margin for that.
Yeah.
And then, so that's another reason why I think this is like a huge thing for smaller developers, especially people like starting out. People in college that are just looking for like even extra money, anything like that. They can just kind of sign on really easily.
Like even if you're one person who gets one client and you don't feel like you have the ability to manage it entirely, you're able to use this program and it'll make you be able to manage the one client that you want.
And
for
it's cloud based as well, so you can pretty much access it anywhere.
Yeah.
So you could be on holidays and you could be managing your clients from the beach, as they say.
Yeah.
So, and then another thing is we do all the kind of money fetching, really. So that whole part of it was like 80% of what people just hated was asking clients for money, because one, they might know them, they might develop a relationship with them, like a personal relationship, and they don't feel comfortable knocking on the door basically and saying, I need me tenner this week or whatever. Yeah. But when it comes to it, they're paying their hosting, they're paying everything else. Yeah. And before you know it, that's how most independent web developers go bust. Yeah. So you're protecting clients either forgetting to pay up, or clients that have left and just haven't told you. Yes. You know.
I've seen it, because one of the bigger issues, like when you're talking to, say, people in any business, not just digital, they'll say sometimes getting the people to pay up, you know, is the toughest part of it. So even knowing that there's a facility there that that'll be pursued professionally, and at a price you can afford to do that with, you know what I mean? It's phenomenal what you guys have come up with, and I've seen it in action, I've seen it in operation, I know it works, and I know the quality of your work. Yeah. So it is impressive. But before I go into any more of the business stuff, I just have to ask this one thing: do you ever fight?
I don't think we ever have, actually. That's
always. No, I
don't think we ever have.
Whenever. No. Well,
we don't fight, but what we do is in like meetings and stuff like that.
Would you like to witness one? No.
We're just about to see the first one.
It's like, we fight. No, we don't. Yes, we do.
Oh, yes, we do. But if you don't know we're fighting, you're never going to understand.
Like, we may have spent a good 10-15 minutes deciding on which word to use in a sentence. That is definitely like when we're writing an email or like describing something on a page.
We're very meticulous.
Yeah.
So
that's about it.
That out, and you'll be conscientious about this to the point where
that's how we work together. Really, we kind of like pick on what each one kind of, not what we're doing wrong.
Yeah, we're like correcting each other's as we go along.
We self-correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and interrupt each other. No,
finish each other.
No. The relationship has been honestly flawless, scarily much, so. So I think we're waiting for a big bust up any day now. Just under the surface.
Like a volcano.
Exactly. But,
and I think it's because you share core
I'm sorry,
values.
I feel like we should have this great story from like in the beginning it wasn't this great. Well, I'm sorry. We'll come back on. Yeah. Individually after our first big fight.
Even do a phone in, you won't believe it.
Jeremy Cole format or one of them.
Yeah. We're here to repair Natosoft. A company ripped apart.
Two damaged men.
They couldn't find the right word for their email.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not where the apostrophe
is.
So what's the vision then? Where are you going to go with this? You see yourself still working? Are you going to be like the Ant and Deck of the digital
world? We'll get prosecuted for being the wrong side in the photo.
Yeah, is that it? They did it?
They did that once. And like, that was more.
I live in a cave. I don't understand anything.
He's never seen the A-Team. He's never seen Frasier. Ant and Deck.
I feel personally victimized here.
We may have pushed it with Ant and Deck here. You know? So, do you think you could work together for many years to come?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for the foreseeable future anyway, definitely.
Until someone better comes along.
And where would you like to see Natosoft going? Like, what would you see, like, in 10 years' time, where would you like to be?
We want to be, like,
on the beach,
pretty much global everywhere. Because every college should have, like, a Natosoft kind of headquarters near it. So that college students can literally... The beauty about this is there's no like sign up fee, there's no money out your pocket straight away. You can literally sign up, and the way it works is a percentage of your payments look like you'll see it's like a pre-agreed percentage of your payments come out of it. It's like, kind of like the way PayPal works.
Okay.
So it's kind of, that's how we work, so you can pretty much go ahead and go from it straight away. You don't need to have...
But I think the model of our thing is very scalable. So in terms of if we get 5 people, it will just be simple. It'll be just as simple to get 5 as it will be to get like 50. You know what I mean? It just scales up and up. So.
And are you talking about like collaborators to work with, or clients that would need your service?
Both. Collaborators first, and then clients who need exactly.
Yeah.
So is there anything you're looking, if someone is listening to the show, is there anything you're looking for at the minute that people can maybe get in touch with you about?
Well, mainly we want to any developers, any sales experts, even if you're only starting out or even if you're in like even secondary school, like anyone, you can pretty much go to our website. It's natosoft.co and click the Natosoft beta sign up and just sign up. And what'll happen is over the next week we're going to be gathering sign-ups and we're going to be processing them and everything else.
Okay.
So we're going to just have people kind of going onto the system on a steady basis.
Is it only younger people that you're looking for?
No, even professionals, even older professionals, people that are even retired. It's like literally, it's like what you see on like a board game. It's 0 to 100.
Yes,
anyone can pretty much join in.
And it's part of the whole equalization, like digital equalization culture that we have, because before it was, how long have you done this? Have you and now it's if you have the skills, you can do it, but you have to be of the standard of skills, and that's fair. That's the most fair way to do things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so if people want to get in touch, natosoft.co.
Yeah.
And go to the beta part.
It's up the top. It's Natosoft beta sign up, and just click
big button at the top of the page there.
Yeah, we'll highlight it after this.
Yeah, do it after this. I might even sign up myself. You never know.
But
do let us know if you ever do have your first fight.
We'll be back in straight away. Yeah. We'll probably come back in anyway, just to keep you.
I think that would be great. Yeah, that would be great. I'd love to see how you guys get on, and best of luck with absolutely everything. I know you're really good at what you do, and you totally deserve all your success. And I hope that Susan and is it Joan? Is it
Joan?
Joan are very proud mummies now, and they're in every photo right to the end.
Floating on the 45 and there's 2 elves in a photo. People on the internet will be just like, who the hell are they? Keep that under the L.
Yeah, number 1. That's
Well, guys, thanks a million for coming in. It was an absolute pleasure to have you in the studio. And I'm delighted to hear we'll be kept up to date with all the developments.
No bother.
Fights are professional. And thanks to Brian for all your help with engineering the show. And I think that just leaves me enough time to say happy Friday.
Dublin News for Dublin people. Dublin City FM.
Good afternoon, I'm Rory Traynor.